welcome to Felixstowe Matters. A little bit cold in the last few days, so I've actually put the heat on. But here we are. We are here with Gillian Benjamin from Suffolk Acre, who's going to be here to discuss change makers. I will now display this so I don't forget. And also as Chris Abraham, who unfortunately has got a cold, would have been here to discuss other things which we will touch on. But anyway, let's get started. Hello, Gillian.
Hello, Jacob.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. So before we get into, I'm gonna say this now: Suffolk Coastal Resource Network and Changemaker. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, it's my birthday today. I'm 54.
Congratulations.
Well, I'm very pleased about that as well, actually. I came into this sort of work from a long background of doing voluntary work, and I volunteered for a parish plan in my village, and thought, well, actually, it'd be really good to be able to do this in other places as well.
Okay.
So when a job came up at Suffolk Acre, I went for it.
Jumped for it, did you?
Yeah, I did.
But before we were discussing before this, but here you're a bit of a musician.
That's right. I've got a degree in music, and I'm a cellist.
Okay.
And I used to actually play with a lovely guy in Felixstowe called Jack Hawes, the composer. He used to live just around the corner from here.
Oh, right. Okay. And is he no longer with us?
I'm afraid so. That was a long while ago.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
But he was a local composer.
Oh, okay. So you're on YouTube with your cello. And,
I am.
Yeah. Do you play on your own or?
I like playing on my own with just a pianist.
Oh, right.
I enjoy that the most.
And you're lacking basically a
pianist at the moment. Yeah, I'm afraid.
So a shout out to anyone if you're a pianist and you want to be involved in music again with a celloist, then please get in touch.
Yeah, please. If you're available, I'd love to play. Anything really. It'd be great.
Fantastic. The other thing that did make me quite amused is you're afraid of heights.
I'm terrified of heights.
You're trying skiing.
Yes.
Since you were
51.
Okay. So how do you get around the idea of going up a mountain?
I scour the internet for places that have tow lifts. Because I have been on a chairlift, but I was indoors. It was only 10 feet off the ground, and I'm hanging on for grim death. So it's not going to work. I'm afraid Austria no, it's just not my scene. So we're going to go to Germany, and they have a lot of tow lifts.
Oh, that's
good.
We'll
try that.
Oh, brilliant. Because the other thing you were telling me, which did make me chuckle again, is that every time you've been away, it's kind of thawed out, is it?
Yeah. We went to Switzerland, and it was very cold before we arrived, so we packed all our warm ski gear, and we got there, snow melted. It was boiling, and we hadn't brought any shoes, we only had our snow boots, and we were absolutely boiling.
Oh no! Oh dear.
So then we thought, okay, Slovenia, they get lots of snow and it's really cold.
Yeah.
We went to Slovenia. By the end of the week, it was 18 degrees. That's plus 18 degrees. Oh, so ice in the morning, skiing, a lot of water skiing by the afternoon.
Yes. Oh no!
So don't tell the Germans, but we're coming to Germany.
Just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
Oh dear. So yes, as I mentioned, Chris Abraham is got a bit of a cold this morning, unfortunately, so she can't be with us. So we will discuss what we were going to talk about as well. So briefly, can you tell me about Suffolk Coastal Resource Network? What is it?
It's a partnership between voluntary organisations, charities, and the statutory organisations such as Suffolk Coastal and Suffolk County Council. So we have a good mix of people. We have the voluntary centres, so if you want to volunteer, you can go to one of these centres and they'll see what vacancies they have, and they'll find vacancies for you to be able to volunteer.
So where are these volunteers?
There's one in Ipswich and there's one in Framlingham.
Oh, right.
And they'd be delighted to see anyone who wants to come and volunteer.
And you said 3, so is there another one in anywhere? Woodbridge, didn't you?
Yeah, and there's a new volunteer point at the library in Woodbridge, which my project, the Changemakers, helped set up.
Oh, I see. So people can come along to that and put their name down, so I want to do X, Y, or Z, and hopefully they'll get a call back with some voluntary stuff available.
And also we can help them if, for instance, they'd like to volunteer, but they perhaps need a few things, perhaps some training. We can help provide that through the network. So we can
Okay.
help people to get skills they need
Yeah.
to help them.
Okay. Okay. So you've got sort of pooling your resources together in Suffolk Coastal specifically. So other than the volunteering, what other stuff does Chris and yourself and others bring to it? Is there meetings or?
Yeah, we do networking lunches throughout Suffolk Coastal several times a year. So the last one we did was at Kesgrave.
Okay.
And it's an opportunity for people to, if they're, for instance, in a little charity and they do something, to meet together with other people who do sort of similar type of work, get together, have a chat. We have topics for people that may help them in their work, so there's usually something about funding, other services that people can provide that might help their work.
Okay.
And lunch, so you can get together over lunch, you can discover what other people do and perhaps help each other.
Okay, so it is a nice networking environment.
Yeah.
So not only what you're providing, but whatever you come across with other people who are like-minded, I would guess. Oh, brilliant!
And we can have a chat to them. We can see, well, we could provide that for you. Sometimes people are not quite sure. There's something they want to do with their group, and they're not sure. Well, how do I get that? How do I get funding to help me with that? Or something else, some other skills perhaps. And the SAVO especially do a lot of training courses for the voluntary sector.
So SAVO?
The Suffolk Association of Voluntary Organisations.
Got a mouthful.
I'm sorry, the whole thing is a mouthful. But we're nice people.
Oh, I can tell, yes.
If you can just remember all the acronyms, then you're fine. You can just call us and we'll be able to help. But at least the change makers is something that's not an acronym, and you can see it.
It sticks in your mind,
It sticks in your mind.
No, that's good. So while you, I'm going to say that, is there a shortened version of Suffolk Coastal Resource Net?
SCRN.
I can do that. Good.
Yeah.
I just wondered if there was.
And we have our own website as well,
okay.
and we are sort of revamping that to get more information on there for people.
Okay.
But that does give quite a lot of information about our various partners and what they do.
So going back, what does you say you work for Suffolk Acre? Presumably
That's right.
they're involved in both Changemaker, obviously,
Yes.
and so what is Suffolk Acre all about?
Well, Suffolk Acre was set up in 1937, and it's a charity helping the rural areas. So it's a rural charity.
Okay.
It means action with communities in rural England. So that's our acronym.
Okay.
And we're involved in all sorts of things, including Dial-A-Ride. So we do community transport. We do business support for community groups and social enterprises.
Yep.
And we actually have a centre at our headquarters in Ipswich called Bright Space, which is serviced offices for small organisations who are setting up community organisations or social enterprises to give them the office space that they need at quite reasonable prices.
Okay, so it's quite a varied set of things to help the local communities and business.
Yeah, and we do parish plans,
plans.
we do village reviews. Any other consultations that you're looking to do, we can tailor make them for you to help you get the best out of it.
Okay, so for anyone who may not understand, what is a parish plan, very briefly, so we can get the context of how you help?
Well, sometimes people want to know, the parish council would like to know what the whole community think about a range of issues.
Yeah.
So, they then decide, okay, well, we'll do a parish plan, and they ask members of the community, they hold a public meeting, people come along and they say, yeah, I'd like to be involved in a steering group, and it's people from the community that lead the plan.
Okay.
So it's completely community led, with some input from the parish council. They may provide money, and there's a link between the two, just so that if any issues come out, that they can start to work on them. And it then they then produce something that involves the whole community. So they'll maybe send around a questionnaire or hold drop-in events, something that finds out what the issues are and can explore then how you might take those forward. So if there's a problem with speeding, well, where is that precisely? What what would you like to do about it?
Okay.
Is there something we can do?
So it's pulling out the issues in the communities,
right.
and then presumably
an action plan,
a resolution comes out of that.
Yeah.
So Suffolk Coastal Resource Network, how does that help the whole process then? Because obviously you guys get involved to help with that.
Yes, we do. If, for instance, there is an issue with, say you had a community where there are a lot of young people, then, for instance, Christine Abraham can provide training for the parish council to help them engage with those young people.
Yeah.
It might be as well, if they produce a youth questionnaire, that someone in the resource network doing youth work can have a look at it for them and say, well, you could ask this question slightly differently and get information in a different way that would help us to provide, say, youth services. So it's ways of getting people in to help with the consultation or look through a questionnaire, whatever they need. We can try and work it out between us what we could provide to help them with it.
So what I've scribbled down here is the right people in the right place.
That's it.
And that's
what we're aiming at.
The essence is you've got this wonderful network of community areas and people that you can pull in at the right time to be involved in the right thing.
I mean, another area we've recently linked in with is the environmental projects that are going on at Suffolk Coastal.
Okay.
Because sometimes in people's questionnaires, things come out, well, they'd like to form a green organisation. So there are organisations in Framlingham, in Otley, and places like that. And they can be helped through Suffolk Coastal's work with green issues. So we can draw them into it. And we have local foods as well. Suffolk Acre is involved with a local foods project.
Oh, right. Well, what's this project? This is
to do with actually growing it and eating it. So helping people to grow local foods and helping them to do lunch clubs and other things to actually market it, eat it or whatever in the local area.
So it's selling it, just consuming it in a good way for the community.
That's
presumably.
right.
Oh, wow.
Because, I mean, you could have, at this time of year, you've probably got courgettes coming out of your ears, but you could do something with those and share them with the community.
Oh, right. Okay. So in all aspects of local life, you could potentially get involved by helping have the right people looking at the issues and resolving and hopefully putting sensible plans together to get it resolved. Okay. So moving on from, I'm going to say it again, Suffolk Coastal Resource Network, just because I can just about say it now. But let's move on to Changemaker, which is what you're involved with. So can you give us a brief understanding of what Changemakers is?
Well, it was a project set up in 2011, and the idea was that we knew that there were people out in the community who perhaps wanted to do something, but weren't sure where to start.
Okay.
And it's to help those people. Say, there's something in the community you think you'd like to provide, or something you can see that could be better, or you want to help people in your community, but you're not sure where to begin. And we were there to try and support those people, get their project up and running, and then float away with it. So help them set it up, sustain it, and send them away.
Okay. So it's almost like a new ideas kind of...
That's right.
What's the word I'm looking for? Oh, it's gone. But yes, it allows people to come in and incubate new ideas.
That's it.
And
grow ideas.
Okay. So what's your role in Changemaker then? What is it that you specifically do?
Well, it could be anything really, depending on what the person actually needs. So it might just be, for instance, I'm helping a very good community project out at Clopton, where they're looking at a pond and a wildlife area. And it's an area now that looks pretty derelict, and there's not very much, there's just a bit of mud and a bit of water. But it could be a great wildlife area and a great amenity for the local community. So it's on a well-used footpath, and people walk their dogs around there. People like to look at the view. So in this case, we put the person in touch with the Suffolk Wildlife Trust. And we're there, in this case, just to support and make sure that things move along. And if things go a bit cold, we're in there just keeping it going. But for some of the others, you might need to help them set up the group or market their idea. Okay. Perhaps find a bit of funding for them to print things. Okay. So we've done that with the volunteer point at Woodbridge.
Yes.
And help them to have a look, perhaps now, at sustaining that project and getting funding to carry it on. Okay. Because they're obviously helping people, the community, to volunteer.
No, definitely. Okay, so it involves, say, new ideas and groups of people with that spark of inspiration too. And then, as you mentioned, you have the hooks into how to get funding, how to get the right people involved, presumably. So how many projects are you currently on the go with then?
Well, we've done 20, and at the moment there's possibly 3. But I would like to contact a lady in Felixstowe called Jenny Stewart. And she's had this great idea, and it's really good, of having a community garden in Felixstowe. Okay. And I would like to sort of see how that's going and contact her and see if we can get that moving again. Okay. Because I think that's a great thing for a place like Felixstowe, where you have a lot of people who perhaps maybe don't have their own garden because they're in a flat. Yeah. You've got a lot of flats in Felixstowe, haven't you?
Indeed, yeah.
And people would like to get involved, so I'm hoping she's out there.
So it was Jenny Stewart.
Jenny Stewart.
So if you're about, please get in touch with either the Felixstowe TV or Changemakers. We'll get your details at the end. That'll be good. Yeah. Yes, cool. So I think
we've got about 3 or 4 at the moment, but we want more.
Okay.
We've incubated 20.
Yeah.
And we need some more now to.
Okay.
We've got the capacity to get more in.
To get stuff going for the community. So you say 20 projects. Have they been diverse in their
Extremely diverse.
Okay.
A mobile skate park.
Okay.
A counselling service.
Yeah.
An art therapy course.
Okay.
A petanque club.
Oh, sorry.
Petanque.
What's that?
Is that how you say it? It's that sort of game where you like French ball.
Oh, I see. Yes. I know what you mean. Okay. Yep.
Also, and a cycling club out at Rendlesham.
Oh, a cycling club. Ah. Okay. So
sorts of.
So very diverse.
Very diverse.
In community with a lot of ideas, I guess.
And a man who wanted to do self-defence classes as well.
Okay.
And here a shop mobility scheme, and that's got set up but in a slightly different guise. Okay. So someone else also had the idea and they seem to have got together, which is brilliant.
So it doesn't matter how it happens, as long as it gets done. And
as long as it happens.
That's brilliant. So I think what you were saying is you've had lots of people contact you.
Yeah.
So you've
54 inquiries.
And through your guidance and the people you can bring in, you can actually push them in the right direction, even if they don't stay the whole way through what you do.
Yeah, they may only need the initial advice, and then they go away and they set up. So there may be more than 20 have set up. You never know.
Okay. So you mentioned about this pond. So how far has it got? Is it in the middle of Suffolk Wildlife Trust trying to get involved?
Yeah, that's right. Okay. At the moment, Suffolk Wildlife Trust are producing a project plan, and then they'll project manage it for the community, and they'll start involving the community through a public meeting. Okay.
Where you can bring in the right people to be involved as well. Right.
Yeah. So then we can, if they haven't got enough volunteers, we can start looking around and see how we can get more volunteers involved. So I think they'll need a few willing to get dirty for that
with
one.
Spades and diggers and stuff like that.
Yeah. And mud, I think, is going to be,
that sounds, I suppose, to some people that would sound a wonderful idea of getting...
Absolutely. Yeah, wonderful idea, mud everywhere.
So as you say, from perspective of Felixstowe, I mean, any ideas anyone has, you'd be really interested to hear from them.
I'm absolutely interested. Whatever you want to do.
Okay. So we've talked about many different possibilities. You've mentioned the skateboard. Yeah.
It's a mobile skateboard park, so you can shift it round. You can take it, load it up in a van, take it somewhere, set it up.
So to different schools.
Different areas.
Oh, brilliant. Is that still running there?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it
Yes,
is.
that's right.
Okay. So a lot of these projects have got legs in essence
they've
to
got
keep
legs.
going.
They keep going.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And there's a mother and toddler group in Grunsborough,
Okay.
or I think they call it these days parent and toddler.
Okay. And that's something
That's
that you.
going, yeah.
That's absolutely brilliant. So in terms of the future of change makers, how many, for example, how many people are involved? I mean, just yourself, or is there a team?
Well, there's just me involved with the initial thing, but I can draw on the other people to give me the information, or perhaps put them in touch with others. So I'm the coordinator.
Okay.
But there are other people involved with the SCRN network who will, you know, be able to help when they need moving on to someone else.
So Suffolk Acre, is it a big volunteering charity? Is it? There's lots of people involved in that.
Yes, lots of people involved because we do a lot of different projects. We're also involved with helping people with their village halls.
Okay.
We do insurance for community groups.
Oh wow!
We have our own IT, so we do Suffolk Online.
Okay.
So people can sign
Suffolk
up for that.
Online?
Well, it's it's an internet provider, so you can actually use that as your internet provider.
Oh, okay. And is that all funded, or it's cheaper for the people to be involved?
Yeah, I think you get a pretty good deal out of that.
Okay.
And of course you've got local support as well, so if things go wrong, there are people in Ipswich, they can help you straight away. They're not they're not
a call centre in India.
Centre somewhere else. Yeah, exactly. They're not some remote section. They're there ready to help if there's a problem, and they can set websites up for you and things like that.
Oh, can they? So it's the whole package. So here's some bandwidth as well as our technical support and okay, that's brilliant. So in terms of how people could get in contact with you for change makers, is there a website? Yes,
there's a website. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, why not?
It's www.change-maker.org.uk.
Okay. And if people want to get in contact with you with old-fashioned, dare I say, telephone, is there a...
Well, I have got a mobile number.
Okay.
It's 07889 707 851. But I can also be contacted at Suffolk Acre. So if people can't remember that number, and they probably,
So is the Suffolk? So what's the Suffolk Acres website then? Because presumably all the contact details are on there as well.
Yeah, if they just look up Suffolk Acre
on
it'll
Google
come up.
And
it'll appear. That'd be easier than me reading out.
No, that's fine.
Me reading that out. If they just ask for Gillian Benjamin, then that'll be fine.
So for the future of Changemakers, is there anything in the pipeline? Is it just getting more people involved in the Suffolk coastal area to come up with ideas?
Well, there is a bid going in for funding to roll it out across the entire county, because it's been so successful in Suffolk coastal in getting new ideas off the ground. That everybody feels this would be a great thing for the rest of the county as well. Okay. So hopefully next year we'll be able to roll it out.
So does that mean there'll be many more of
I hope
you too? Else you'll be bogged down with every project under the sun.
Well, I don't think I'd better cope with the whole county. I think it'd be really good if we had more change makers, because sometimes I think people sit there and they really do think I'd love to do it, but it's just that initial thing of getting out there and getting their ideas started. And once they start, there's no stopping them.
Okay, so I suppose it's the fact that they probably haven't heard of change makers and other ways to actually get this off the ground.
But I will be getting a lot of the literature out to the libraries, and I can't today because the library's closed, but getting it around the area as well, so they'll be able to see posters and pick up cards in other places as well.
Okay.
But they can easily contact me. It's however they want to.
So it's going to be just in a big area, all of Suffolk. So that's a lot more people with possibly lots of good ideas. So, well, thank you very much, Gillian, for your time. It's been quite very interesting about Changemakers and skiing as well. That was good. So, as I said, if you want to get involved, if you've got a brilliant idea that just needs a little bit of help and coordination, then Gillian is here.
Yeah.
So get in contact. So this has been Felixstowe Matters. Hope you have a wonderful day, and we will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.